show is about home, someplace many of us are spending a lot of time in these days, and the relationship with home, sometimes from the inside and sometimes from afar. We'll start with Karen and Kevork's work, which is a performance and animation that was inspired by the beloved Armenian song that has actually become a lament, Grung. Their gorgeous collaboration reminded me of my artistic connection to the Armenian genocide. I was so very fortunate to be part of an artistic team, including Joyce Van Dyke, the playwright, and Judy Braha, the director, as we devised a play about Joyce's grandmother, Victoria, in the play, and her experiences as a genocide victim and survivor. In the play Daybreak, which was previously called Deported, a dream play, I was honored to play Victoria and share her amazing story. It certainly was a profoundly emotional experience for me, and there was so much resonance for me between the Armenian genocide and the Holocaust. I thought a lot about how we make our stories visible and understandable to one another, especially stories that are so beyond the experience and imagination of others. In their beautiful sonic and visual interpretation of Vatabad Komitas Grung, cellist Karen Ouzounian and visual artist Kevork Mourad communicate the longing and homesickness Grung has come to express for the Armenian people who were forced out of their homes, out of their villages, out of their cities, and out of their country. Karen and Kevork told me that this is a song Armenians grow up knowing in multiple interpretations, but a common quality is missing home. Can we please roll that video? Oh, thank you, Karen and Kevork, for interpreting the essence of Komita's poignant work so powerfully. Absolutely stunning. Our next guest, Fabiola Mendez, began playing the Puerto Rican cuatro, the national instrument of Puerto Rico, when she was only 6 years old. And since then, she has won the National Cuatro Player Competition in 2011. Her album Otro Lado de Chaco was one of the top 20 albums in Puerto Rico in 2019, and she is the first person to graduate from Berklee College of Music with the cuatro as her principal instrument. As you'll hear, Fabi was in Graco, Puerto Rico, when I spoke with her, and the internet connection was a bit unreliable. It's such a beautiful conversation. We wanted to share as much of it with you as we were able to capture from our rehearsal. So let's roll that video, please. Such a pleasure to have you. And where are you coming from right now?
So right now I'm in Gurabo, Puerto Rico, in my hometown, in the house I grew up in.
Ah, so you're with your family?
Yes, I am.
That's lovely. And where locate that town for us in terms of its relationship? Is it a seaside town? Is it a rainforest town?
It's in the countryside, so it's not on the coast, but it is about 30-minute drive from San Juan. So it's still in the metropolitan area.
Well, I do love Puerto Rico so much, especially San Juan, old San Juan. It's so vibrant, has such a rich history, and the food and the art museums are extraordinary.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know that Boston has been your home base. So you're rooted in two places. Is there one where you feel more at home?
It's hard to pick, honestly. Definitely here in Puerto Rico, it's my roots and it's a lot of my music, my instrument, a lot of what I am and who I am. But Boston has a special place in my heart because I feel like it's the place where I became a professional musician, and it's this place where I've had so many artistic opportunities that I know here in the island, unfortunately, I wouldn't have had. So going to the States, as my album says, al otro lado del charco, on the other side of the pond, crossing over and moving just gave me such amazing opportunities. So both of them have special places in my heart.
So you started playing when you were 6 years old. How did that happen? Was it independent, or did somebody hand you the cuatro? Is it a tradition in your family?
So my family has always been very into the traditions and the folk music, and my dad used to play cuatro before I was born. But once I was born, he didn't really play anymore. He did have the cuatro. So.
Oh boy. And she's got great. Oh, where were we, Fabi?
Okay, so yes, there was a cuatro in the house, and I found it, and I started, trying to play it, and my dad was like, "Oh, okay, I see that you have some interest." So he put me in lessons. So the cuatro, it's just like in the States, it's similar to like the banjo, or it's a very folky instrument that not a lot of people play, especially young children. So my dad was very excited that I had this interest, and I started playing, and he says that the dream he had of being a cuatro player, he was never able to fulfill, but now he's able to fulfill it through me.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, it's awesome.
That is awesome. And I did hear that in some ways, tell us about the instrument. I heard in some ways it's a cross between a violin and a guitar. Is that right?
Yeah, so the history, the instrument itself, there's a lot of stuff that there's historians that are still studying it because it wasn't as documented, but it was definitely developed by the countryside men and women in Puerto Rico, and they were just trying to replicate the instruments that they were seeing from the Spanish colonizers. So they had the guitars, they had the vihuelas, and then you had all these other European instruments like the violin. The shape sort of resembles the violin, especially here. And it was, as I was saying, it was the Puerto Rican men and women's attempt to, replicate European instruments. So the cuatro had different shapes and forms throughout its history. But this is its most recent. And actually the name cuatro, which is four, came from the original amount of strings, because originally it had 4 pairs of strings, so 4 double strings. But now it has 5 double. So it's a different number, but it still kept the name cuatro.
Wow. That's and Fabi, tell us what you're going to hear what we're going to hear tonight. What you're going to hear tonight? How silly of me! I want you to give me the Spanish, the true pronunciation of the, and then I'm going to repeat it. Go ahead.
Al otro lado del charco.
Al otro lado del charco. How's
there
that?
You go. That's perfect.
That's what you're going to play tonight, and you said it means on the other side of the pond. Right. Well, we are very excited to share that with our audience. I've already seen it, and it is superb. All right, let's roll it, please.
You. Estoy aquí, salí de mi eterno hogar a caminar. El sol salió, no es igual que en mi hogar. La música me refugiará al otro lado del charco. Aprendí a ser lo que nunca fui y aquí descubrí lo que sufriría, amar y vivir. Al otro lado del charco aprendí a ser lo que nunca fui y aquí descubrí lo que sufriría, amar y vivir. Estoy aquí, salí de mi eterno hogar a caminar. El sol salió, no es igual que en mi hogar. La música me refugiará al otro lado del charco. Aprendí a ser lo que nunca fui y aquí descubrí lo que sufriría, amar y
how wonderful. Fabiola is named so pertinently. Fabiola Mendez playing her song Al otro lado del saco, on the other side of the pond. Fabi told me backstage that she was in the recording studio this week, so keep an eye out for her new single coming soon. Thank you so much to Karen, Kevork, and Fabi for sharing their work with us. And we also want to thank Elsa Mosquera at Agora Cultural Architects. They are doing wonderful work with Latinx artists in Massachusetts. As always, we have links for everyone in the comments so you can find out more about them. Also, on last week's show, two of our guests, Chanel Chloe Villegas and Kaylee Burrows, shared a well-researched and useful spreadsheet of Black-owned businesses we can all support, over 300 of them. We've included that in the comments again this week, so check it out if you missed it. And if you'd like to see more from All Together Now, please like, subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You know, since early April, All Together Now has been an all-volunteer effort, from the artists to the producers to the technical team. We are all volunteering our time, and we are so grateful to the artists for their generosity in sharing their work, and to the audience members who have gone on this journey with us. When we began, we thought this was a 6-week effort during a month-long quarantine. Oops. As it has become a longer team effort, we need to raise funds to support the artists and the show directly. If you would like to make a tax-deductible donation to support us, the link is in the comments section. Click on See More on Facebook and Show More on YouTube to find the link. 60% of the funds will be paid directly to artists who appear on the show, and the rest will go towards production costs, which the producers have been paying out of pocket. We appreciate anything you can contribute, and if you're not able to do so right now, we are delighted to keep sharing these wonderful performances and interviews with you. So next Thursday, I will be away, which kind of makes me really sad not to be doing the show, but I am leaving you in fabulous hands. The pediatrician and violinist Lisa Wong will be our guest host. She was so terrific on a previous show, and she will be joined by the violin voice and freestyle composition artist Maz Swift, and Arthur Bloom, the pianist and founder of Music Corps, a conservatory-level music rehabilitation program that helps severely wounded soldiers play music and recover their lives. And they are going to do a very special show on music and healing. Until next Thursday, then, keep a song in your heart and hold a good thought. Good night.